Hi, hello everybody. It's your girl, Spouse Affairs, and I'm here again, talking relationships, bringing relationships to your doorstep. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please don't hesitate. Please just click the subscription button there and also click the notification button there. And there are so many videos you could watch also. I had to separate my channels before. I had my music channel where I was still doing relationship there, so I had to eventually split it up. So my music channel is still there for my Aaron. I differentiated them, so we have Spouse Affairs and Ufoma Aaron. So this Spouse Affairs is strictly all the relationship, while Ufoma Aaron is all the music, everything about my music. So feel free to subscribe to both channels, and we're gonna have a smooth ride. Thank you for joining. So last week I made a post on Instagram and on Facebook. I was actually speaking to marriages, like people that are married. I was saying that I was talking basically to the husbands. I'm actually going to do a video, have to do a video on that, talking about sex, somebody you get married and then you just find out that after a while the sex drive for your wife has just waned. She just doesn't want to have sex anymore. So I give some tips and things that men need to understand about us, we women, that could help their marriages. So you could check that out, but I'm also going to do a video on that, so just keep it locked. You're going to see that video. So today, this is like a sequel to that post. Since I'd said that, okay, the men, this is what we need to do, but I just felt I needed to speak with the women. Our day is always filled with exploits. Every wife's day is always filled with exploits, and I can feel I've been there. I know everything. You get up in the morning. In fact, your alarm, maybe in the night before, so if maybe one child did not even sleep properly, maybe they had one discomfort and you were there for that child. Then morning, before you say, okay, let me just put my head down, alarm rings and you're up again. You now have to bathe the children, make breakfast, feed, wait on the child, clean up after the child, sweep, wash, all that. We just have to do it. Thank God for our husbands. A lot of times marriage is partnership, so we do this together. But as women, the pressure is more on us when it comes to the house, most times on the average. So by evening, within the day you've cooked, in the night you've bathed everybody, you've gotten everybody ready for bed, and the last child just sleeps off and you're like, oh my God, thank you, Lord. I can just sleep finally. I can just rest. I can just close my eyes and sleep in peace. And then somebody taps you and the guy is all horny. The husband is all horny. I want you tonight. And you're like, what? After all this stress, you still want to do this? I've been there, so I know what I'm saying. And the first thing that comes to my mind, like, are you for real? Can't you see that I am tired and exhausted? I'm not interested in this. Please, not today. Please take this away from me. And I would say, no way, I ain't doing this. So there's a school of thought that says that once you're married, once your husband asks you for sex, as a wife, you have to give it to him. Another school says that if you're not in the mood and he comes and says he wants sex, you shouldn't give it to him. You should stand your ground that you're not in the mood and you don't give it to him. Well, I'm not arguing for or against any of the schools. I like to be in the middle. Yes, I'm not in the mood. Yes, he understands. Yes, I'm supposed to give him sex when he wants it. But I'm not in that zone now. What do I do? What do I do? How do I get myself in the zone? So that I'll be in the middle. So I said the first one is you need to just be truthful at all times. Speak to yourself honestly, like, okay, some days can really be very trying for a woman. Sometimes you're on your period, sometimes you're ovulating, sometimes you're having menstrual cramps, sometimes a child, just has some form of distress and you're there for the child. Sometimes your emotions are just and once your husband is coming for sex, you're like, brother, please just hold it there. I am not interested. I mean, there are days like that. Honestly, just tell him, uncle, please, today look, I love you, I want you, I'm crazy about you, but you see, sex today, I just can't have. I'm tired, I'm drained, and be honest, like I said, be truthful. And don't just leave him like that. Tell him, look, I'm going to do this for you next time. Let's reschedule. Some people say that when you reschedule sex or you schedule sex, that it kills the romance in it. And I'm like, I think it's better I schedule it than spontaneity. I'm waiting for something spontaneous and then I have to stay 2 months waiting for the perfect ambience, waiting for the perfect environment, waiting for everything perfect before we can have sex. So I'm like, no, we can schedule it. Then some spontaneity, sometimes it will be spontaneous. So there's nothing wrong with scheduling, telling him that, look, today it ain't gonna work. I'm so sorry, I love you, I want you, but today it's just not working for me. This is the reason, that is the reason. I'm going to give it to you hot tomorrow, or I'm going to do this for you next tomorrow, or tell him. Like sometimes when I'm on my period, I'm telling my husband, I say, brother, you can't work today, the shopper. He can't work today. And that's just it. I explain to him, look, I'm on my period, or I'm tired, or honestly speak to him. He's your husband, he loves you, for crying out loud. So why are we talking as if he doesn't love you? If he loves you, he's gonna be there. I'm talking about ideal relationships, not crazy people. Ideal relationships. You tell him that, look, you're honest, and he understands. He will understand. In fact, he will not want you to do what you didn't want to do in the first place. He will want you to be comfortable and want you to enjoy it. That's what sex is about. It's not rape, it's sex. So it's supposed to be enjoyed by both parties. So your husband will want that for you. So don't feel that by telling him the honest truth, being honest with him, he's going to, So I've said it. First thing, be truthful. Be truthful about what is going on with you, Then when you say, okay, I'm going to schedule it, let's schedule it. Make sure you keep to your word. Make sure you keep to. I'm telling you things that I do in my home. So if I say we're going to do it tomorrow, in fact, that tomorrow I will be the ginger. I will be the one that will carry it on my head to make sure that, because I said it. Because I said that. In fact, when we first got married, I wasn't even keeping to myself. Sometimes I say, okay, tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, I'm like, oh God, tomorrow, is it already tomorrow? Okay, let's move it again. Because I was so stressed out. So when you can have sex, tell him. Don't now say no, maybe because there was some form of quarrel or something happened in between. Don't even though you have maybe a lot of things going on in your mind, or you're not 100% like you were thinking you were going to be, oh yeah, and it's not there. Because you have said yes, keep to your word. Don't change your mind when you can. When you can, do it. Do it. Then also, you are doing this because of your marriage. I had to go to New York Times. I went to go and check an article, and I saw an interview where this researcher, Denise Donnelly, made a comment. She said happy couples have more sex, and the more sex a couple has, the happier they report being. So that means you have more sex, you guys are happier. I mean, think about it. I have more sex with my husband, it makes us happier. Why won't you want to do what will make you guys happier? At least do it for yourself, your husband, and for your children. It makes your relationship, it makes you guys happier. So this is a researcher that made that comment, and I was intrigued. I was like, what? Really? Okay, let's go. More sex, So do it for your marriage. Because I always tell women, if you're single and you're listening to this, if you're not ready to have sex, you don't want to have sex, you're not interested in sex, don't get married, or get married to somebody that is not interested in sex but only wants to procreate. So you have sex just for procreation and you will be fine. But where there's a problem is you see an innocent man or an innocent woman that has normal hormones, has normal desires that was created by God, and then you now deprive them by saying every time you're not in the mood, you're not interested, you are never interested. You are not saving your marriage, you are destroying your marriage, because sex is part of marriage. It's part of what God created. Adam knew his wife and she bare. But before they started bearing, I hope you know they were together. All that togetherness, they were also having sex. Till eventually, baby came into the scene. So the first thing was, the sex was for the creation of the woman was for companionship with her man. The man too was for companionship. In that companionship, in that friendship, there's sex, there's romance. And out of it, children are just a product of what happens when there's companionship, when there's coitus, when there's friendship. That is what. So it's not like marriage was just created for procreation alone. No, it wasn't. The Bible says it is not good that the man should be alone. It didn't say it is not good that the man does not have children. If not, God would have just created children and given them. Why did he need to create Eve? He would have just given Adam children at once. But he gave him a companion, because that's what he needed. And that person suited him. And the two of them together, friends, agape love, phileo, and eros, together. they now brought forth. But in the friendship, there was sex, there was romance. So it's all part of what God created. So don't get it twisted that sex is not, you're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to enjoy, you're supposed to be happy after sex, during sex, thinking about sex. You're supposed to be happy. That is how God made it. Okay, so I said, do it for your marriage because you want a happy home. A sexually deprived spouse cannot be happy. Cannot be happy unless they said, okay, two of us, we decide that we don't want to have sex. Then everybody is happy. But if it's only one partner, one person that said, look, I'm not interested in this sex of a thing. I'm busy. I'm not interested. I always tell people, if you're not interested in sex, you may need to go and seek professional help in case there are some other issues like rape or something that happened in between. Those ones are for professionals. Go and meet a counselor and let them get you out of that, because it's not okay to deprive your spouse of that, because you are pushing this man, you are pushing this woman. So don't do that. Okay? Then another thing I do when I'm not in the mood is that I become a drama queen. In terms of, I put on a role. The role is, I'm in the mood. Give it to me, sugar. Meanwhile, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in that zone. But I'm determined that, you see this thing, we will have it today. So I put on, I impersonate myself. I don't know the word, but I put on a role and say, we are going to have it today. Okay? Because sex is good for your marriage. And I love this man. And I know that he needs sex. I know that she needs sex. So, his own need, since we are agape lovers, his own need is very important. I need to meet his need. That is why I'm putting on the role. Sometimes I'm not in the mood though, but you will see that night, I'll be the one that will initiate sex. Meanwhile, I'm not in the mood. But by the time we have sex, I will be telling him thank you. Meanwhile, I wasn't in the mood. But I put on the role. I'm going to be, people you may say, okay, this one you're telling me, that means I should pretend. Yes, I'm telling you to pretend. And you tell me now that pretend, why will I pretend? Pretend is not good, really. Let me give you an example. When your children, they come to meet you, mommy, I want to eat. Maybe I want snack or I want to eat. And then you're like, okay. Meanwhile, you're busy doing stuff, or you're not in the cooking mood. You're not even ready to go to kitchen. But because of the love you have for your child, you put on your cooking cap and get food prepared for your child. So you put on that. If you see your child, your child pools and you're busy, are you in the mood to go clean pool? No, but you do it because your child needs to be cleaned. Your child needs to be attended to. So I told you I sing. So sometimes I get to church and then my music director, meanwhile, I'm not in the singing, I'm not even interested in leading worship or anything. And then I get to church and then my music director is like, Mrs. Aaron, you're going to be the one to lead the worship. And I'm like, what? Please get me out of here, Lord. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, And it's like, the mantle is on you and you're like, because sometimes you may get to church and then some things change. It's not like we don't have rehearsals, but sometimes Some things just change, that maybe they need something spontaneous, and they're like, okay, what do I do? I'll just start praying in the Holy Ghost. Lord, I need you more than ever. Praying, Lord, I'm getting myself. Look, it's not like you are not carrying the Holy Spirit everywhere, but you just start speaking in tongues, just so that you can start receiving. You can start receiving, so that you are in the zone. That is putting on the apparel. That is putting on, and then I now go there and I deliver. Why am I delivering? Because was I in the mood to go and lead praise and worship? I wasn't in that mood. I wasn't in that zone at all. But because I'm a responsible chorister, because I love the Lord, I'm doing it. That is how it's supposed to be too in our homes. You are not in the mood, I know. But you should do it. You should do it. You can get in the mood. Get in the mood. It's so... Those of you that drink wine, take a glass of wine, start sipping, and, feel the beats. Play some music. In fact, that is the night that you give him lap dance. Like, give it to him, and he'll be like, what happened? Put on that kinky nightwear. By the time you put on that nightwear that is so hot and everything, you already feel sexy. You already feel in the zone. You're already entering into the zone. But when you're not in the mood, and then you're not doing anything about it to get in there, that is where the problem is. You need to put yourself together. Get up. Put on something nice. In fact, just spraying perf. Taking your bath, spraying perfume, looking good. Roll your hair up or let it fall, depending on the way he likes it. Do some makeup, whatever. All those things are prepared. They are getting you in the zone. They're getting you in the zone. So do all that, and you will see that at the end of that particular sex, you will see that you enjoyed it, sometimes even better than the one that you wanted from the outset, that your body was all fired up. By the time we're done, I was gonna be like, wow, that one was awesome, that one was on point. Meanwhile, I was not in the zone. That doesn't mean that you are not truthful. That doesn't mean, look, because I've told you about children, I've told you about church. So get yourself in there, get your groove on, and you'll be able to deliver excellently. So don't ever feel that, I need to be horny first before I can be able to. Sometimes you get yourself into the horniness. Get yourself into the zone so that you can be able to satisfy your partner. Because our men, the day you're not in the zone, that is when they are in the zone. Sometimes I'm the one that is horny, he is not, and it makes sure that I'm satisfied. So why can't I do that when it comes to him? Why can't I do that? So get yourself in there. Whatever you need to do to get yourself in there that makes you feel hot, when we finish having babies, that doesn't mean that our groove has ended. Look, our groove just started, because now everywhere is full, everywhere is set. So you can use it to your advantage. And look, come out looking stunning. Give him that particular one that you are asking. You can take on a role and say, okay, tonight I'm going to be a hair hostess, or a chef, or let me not go there, but you know what I mean. Get a costume, and just the day you're not feeling it, put on the costume. You will feel it. And that day, give him lap dance, give him something that, in his wildest dream, he'll never know that you even have an idea of such things. Okay, so that's it from me. Please don't forget to click on the subscription button. Please click it, subscribe, share it, leave a comment, and I pray that our homes will remain blessed. I decree the blessings of God upon each home, each person that's listened, each person that is determined to make the marriage work. I pray that their homes will be homes of joy, homes of peace, and rejoicing will constantly be in our homes. Thank you for listening. God bless you. It's Spouse Affairs signing off. Bye.